Hello students, today we are going to focus on the topic calorimetry. The measurement of heat is called calorimetry. The total internal energy of all molecules of a substance is called its thermal energy. Now we are going to differentiate between heat and temperature one by one. The energy that flows from the hot body to a cold body is called the heat energy or simply heat. SI unit of heat is joule. Heat can also be measured in the unit calorie. 1 calorie is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. That is between 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degree Celsius, because the water expands uniformly between this temperature. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule. 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4200 joule. 1 kilocalorie is the heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water from 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius. Heat is measured by using an instrument called a calorimeter by using the principle of calorimeter. Whereas the temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. It determines the direction of flow of heat when two bodies are in contact. If there is no transfer of heat between the two bodies in contact, they are said to be at the same temperature. The amount of heat energy contained in a body depends on its mass, temperature and material of the body. SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. We can get the temperature in Kelvin by adding 273 to the degree Celsius temperature. The zero of the Kelvin scale is also called absolute zero or 0 Kelvin, which is the temperature at which the molecular activities stop. And 0 Kelvin has a value as minus 273 degree Celsius. A degree is same on both the Celsius and the Kelvin scale. The instrument used to measure the temperature is a thermometer, which works on the principle of thermal expansion of liquids. Factors affecting the quantity of heat absorbed. There are basically 3 factors. Number 1, the mass of the body. More the mass of the body, more will be the heat absorbed. Increase in temperature. More is the change in temperature, more will be the heat absorbed by the body. The third factor is the material or substance of the body or the specific heat capacity of the body. More the specific heat capacity, more will be the heat absorbed by the body. Specific heat capacity is different for different substances. Q is equal to mc theta. This is the most important formula for heat calculation, where Q is the heat absorbed or heat liberated, m is the mass of the substance, c is the specific heat capacity and theta is the change in temperature. First, coming on to the topic, thermal capacity or heat capacity. The heat capacity of a body is the amount of heat energy required to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. Heat capacity of the body C dash can be given by the formula C dash is equal to amount of heat divided by rise in temperature. SI unit of heat capacity is joule per Kelvin. If the heat capacity of a substance is 500 joule per Kelvin, it means that 500 joules of heat energy is required to raise the temperature of that substance by 1 Kelvin or 1 degree Celsius. Now coming on to specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity of a substance is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of that substance through 1 Kelvin or 1 degree Celsius. It can be given as specific heat capacity C is equal to amount of heat supplied upon mass multiplied by rise in temperature. Heat capacity and specific heat capacity can be related by giving this formula: heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. SI unit of specific heat capacity is joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Specific heat capacity of copper is 0.4 joule per gram per Kelvin, it means 0.4 joule of heat energy is required by 1 gram of copper to increase its temperature by 1 Kelvin or 1 degree Celsius. The specific heat capacity of a substance is its characteristic property. It is different for different substances. The substances with low specific heat capacity shows a rapid rise and high rise in temperature, whereas the substance with high specific heat capacity shows a slow and small rise in temperature. Water has an unusually high specific heat capacity, having the value 4200 joule per kg per Kelvin. Please remember, the specific heat capacity of the same substance is different in its different phases. That means it can be different in solid, liquid and gaseous state. A calorimeter. A calorimeter is an instrument or a device used for measurement of heat by using principle of calorimetry. It is made up of thin sheets of copper because copper is a good conductor of heat, so the vessel soon acquires the temperature of its contents. Copper has low specific heat capacity, so the amount of heat energy taken by the calorimeter itself from the contents to acquire its temperature is very, very small. Now coming on to principle of method of mixtures, which is also known as principle of calorimetry. According to the principle of calorimetry, if no heat energy is lost to the surroundings, that means the system is perfectly insulated, then heat energy lost by the hot body will always be equal to heat energy gained by the cold body. And this principle is based on law of conservation of energy. We have number of consequences of high specific heat capacity of water. Hot water bottles are used for fermentation. Water is used an effective coolant. In cold countries, water is used as a heat reservoir and juice bottles are put in water so as to avoid their freezing. Farmers fill their fields with water to protect the crop from frosting. Now coming on to the another important part in this chapter, that is change of phase and latent heat. The process of change from one state to another at a constant temperature is called the change of phase. It is brought about by the exchange of heat. Melting. The change from solid to liquid phase by the absorption of heat at a constant temperature is called melting. And the constant temperature at which a solid changes to a liquid is called the melting point of the solid. Water in the pure state has a freezing point as 0 degree Celsius, and the melting point of pure ice is also 0 degree Celsius. For a pure substance, melting and freezing points are going to be identical. For a given mass of substance, the amount of heat energy absorbed during melting is same as that liberated during freezing. Change in volume during melting. Most of the substances like lead, wax, etc. expand on heating, but some substances like ice contract on heating. Effect of pressure on the melting point of substance. The melting point of the substance which contract on melting decrease by the increase in pressure like ice. On the other hand, the melting point of the substances such as wax, lead, etc. which expand on melting increases by the increase in pressure. Effect of impurities on the melting point. The melting point of a substance decreases by the presence of impurities in it. Very common example we can use as the melting point of ice decreases by addition of salt on it. Now coming on to vaporization or boiling. The change from liquid to gas or vapor phase on absorption of heat at a constant temperature is called vaporization. The constant temperature at which vaporization occurs is called the boiling point of the liquid. For a pure substance, the boiling point and the condensation point are identical. Heat energy is absorbed at a constant temperature during vaporization, while the same amount of heat energy is liberated during condensation at that temperature for the same mass of the substance. Water on heating forms steam at 100 degrees Celsius. At the same time, steam at 100 degrees Celsius on cooling gets converted into water at 100 degrees Celsius. Effect of pressure on the boiling point. The boiling point of a liquid increases with the increase in pressure and decreases with the decrease in pressure. That's the reason we find water inside a pressure cooker has its boiling point in the range 120 degrees Celsius to 125 degrees Celsius due to increase in pressure. Impurities also affect the boiling point. The boiling point of liquid increases by addition of impurities to it. On adding salt in water, water boils at the temperature higher than 100 degrees Celsius. Latent heat and specific latent heat. The heat energy absorbed in change of phase without any change in temperature is called its latent heat. Latent heat, when expressed for unit mass of substance, is called the specific latent heat. The specific latent heat of a phase is the quantity of heat energy absorbed or liberated by the unit mass of that substance for the change in its phase at a constant temperature, and it can be given as L is equal to Q by M, and Q is equal to M into L. SI unit of specific latent heat is Joule per kilogram. Specific latent heat of fusion of ice. The specific latent heat of fusion of ice is the heat energy required to melt unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius without any change in temperature. Whereas the specific latent heat of freezing of ice is the heat energy released when a unit mass of water at 0 degrees Celsius freezes to ice at 0 degrees Celsius without any change in temperature. For a pure substance, the specific latent heat of freezing is the same as specific latent heat of fusion. For ice, the specific latent heat of fusion is 336,000 joule per kg. It means that 1 kg of ice at 0 degrees Celsius absorbs 336,000 joule of heat energy to convert into water at 0 degrees Celsius. Remember, 1 gram of water at 0 degrees Celsius has 336 joule of heat energy more than 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius. Natural consequences of ice specific latent heat of fusion of ice. Snow on mountains does not melt all at once. In cold countries, water in lakes and ponds does not freeze all at once. It is generally more cold after a hailstorm when ice melts than during or before the hailstorm. In the diagrams, there has been shown the heating curves. Now one is heating curve of ice during melting and another one is heating curve for water. Wherever the line has been shown horizontal, you can easily show the melting point or the boiling point from the heating curves. In the first diagram, the melting point of ice has been shown at 0 degrees Celsius, which is shown on the time axis. The line has been overlapping. On the other side, in the heating curve for water, the boiling point of water has been shown as 100 degrees Celsius by the line BC, because the constant temperature has been shown, so it is representing the boiling point of water.